Good evening, friends and relatives. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Lynette Tubles. Oh my gosh, and we have a guest here tonight. He somehow broke into the room and he wanted to say hello. This is Little Chief. And okay, go Little Chief. So he crashed the party. So I just like to say good evening, friends and relatives. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're back with Yellowbird Traditional Storytelling, and we're honored to have Phillip Whiteman Jr. back with us again. And last week we had, an awesome presentation by Helene Gaddy about star knowledge and geology and our history. And it was a really good presentation. So I hope you guys caught that. If you didn't catch it, you can always go back and watch it again. And also, I just want to encourage everybody to go to our YouTube page. So now all of the programs that you're seeing here on Facebook Live, we're moving them over to our YouTube page as well, and that's Yellowbird Lifeways. My name is Lynette Tubles, Dueña Kiapiwi, Scouts the Way Woman. I'm coming to you live from Lame Deer, Montana, and I'm with Yellowbird. I'm the director of Yellowbird Lifeways, but I'm also the host of this program, Yellowbird Traditional Storytelling, and I also have a food sovereignty program every Saturday morning. So we're real excited and real grateful that all of you have continued to support us and join us all of this entire year that we've been doing storytelling, and we're continuing and just trying to bring you a diverse group of storytellers. And the last couple of weeks we had people that came and presented, and some that shared more from a historical context and information, which is good because storytelling comes in all different forms. But tonight we're real thankful to have Phillip back with us. And Phillip is a world-renowned traditional storyteller. And for those of you that have seen him and heard him and know him, you know that it's a real gift. It's an art form to be able to share stories like that. So tonight we're going to hear some real important information and stories about our traditions, our culture, some of our ways that are really important that have to do with our children, and some of the things that when they're babies, when we greet them, all the way, when they get older, and some of the things that we do in our culture to just bless our children, to uplift them, to remind them where they come from, to remind them that they're sacred, to let the people know who they are, and to let the spirits know who they are as well. So tonight we're real, happy that Phillip is back with us again. So I'm gonna call Phillip here, and then he's going to share, and he might, sing a song as well. And then I'll come back to close it out again. And I'm going to talk about, at the end, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the other programs that we have coming up. So we want to encourage you to keep stopping back, keep coming back to Yellowbird Lifeways, and share with your friends and family, and let us know where you're joining us from. It's always nice to hear that. So thank you for joining us tonight. And we have Chief Phillip Whiteman that is with us. So enjoy the stories tonight.
There we go. How you guys doing this evening? I hope that all is well. things can change real quick. And I'm trying to get myself centered here. When I was growing up, that my dad and my mother, they used to dress me up and my regalia. And they used to, well, my dad used to sing. He's a recording artist. Him and they recorded with sound chiefs from Oklahoma, and before I was born, 1956. So Tommy Wooden Lakes and Gilbert White, my father, Phillip Whiteman Sr. That they recorded some Native American church songs also too. I think Sundance songs to preserve for their people. There was only one drum at that one time. And well, I guess each district, they had Omaha, Hotneha Society. And there's Wolfball Mitani over there in Busby and over Matan and Bernie, Dodo Matan and Ashland, and Black Lodge people here at Lame Deer and Rosebud. They had that's where they had powwow. And I guess that's when I must have started dancing. I must have about 3 years old. There was an old wooden building there. And my dad said I would get up, start dancing, and fall down, and get back up, and fall back down, and get served. It was just, well, they were enjoying themselves at that powwow. And my dad and my mother, they were just having a good time watching me fall down and get back up and start dancing again. So, and I was thinking tonight, we wanted to do stories about, well, some of the traditional protocols with our people. Things can get really well, taboo, and things can get real protocol, and things can get real some way. But we're here where we're at. We're here with Yellowbird. We're trying to preserve and storytelling. And I think everybody has a story. And I've been just sharing. Well, my grandparents, they kind of raised me. And that's how I learned how to talk Cheyenne. I had several grandparents. And then my mother, she helped raise children to help raise me. And well, seems like one person never stops learning. And it seems like when I was young, I couldn't get nothing right. But I guess that's the learning process. But one of my dad's brothers, his name's Gilbert Whitedirt. He just passed away, and he used to sing with my dad. Well, I mean, he used to really hit that drum and them downbeats. And he used to sing. If you go and look at Sound Chiefs, named their seniors, Phillip Whiteman Sr. and Gilbert Whitedirt and Tommy Wooden Lakes, they're still out there somewhere, probably on a computer. But I grew up with a song. I wanted to start that out tonight before I get too far into it. And let me say a short prayer. I hold my head. Sure down and no. I watch it and no, I don't my own and no. He'll kiss the nail. But I thought with what's done it no, but what's the one that no, but down the minute. My highness, the hotness, what's that's. Which bill, Mutano, no, which that's which Hinhuutan namassaavich huaajat naam hutuanat vuostanehves naam huanehesto na taka mahenas naam naam nooshimen sa now this is now it's die now mahenas vuostama davet nosmeemut ikhukstana mahenas shino dos niakshimen ho. I've seen that song that I grew up with. My dad used to sing it for me. That's one of the only songs that Cheyennes have that has words and that power. So he's a Mahayot creator. Shivatama take pity, have mercy, compassion on the war dance on it. And that he'll live his life to the end fully like that way. So I grew up with that song, hearing it, and I didn't realize that when my father would sing, he was singing that someday that I'll be able to live to fulfill my vision, dream, purpose, like that what they had for me. They took me all over the place, but one story that I'll talk Cheyenne and I'll explain it in English. I guess Chichenos when I guess a snake kind of come crawling in. That's it. Okay, his son. Yeah, I meant to say, how was it not that? Well, I guess there's mice. They all got scared. And they almost got startled. That mother, he looked at that snake and yeah, no one on this one there. Yeah, no one them shim. Jimmy is one. Hey, me, hi, Dacha nimit tachoman. Dacha. I think these are my children and children. This is you guys' grandfather. I think he's hungry. Let's prepare something for him to eat. Dacha kamas nicho no dam na mat map. Dacha jadash and messias. Dashum daw no. Children, go on out and get some firewood and some water, and go prepare. We're gonna bring it, and we'll feed him, and let's cook for him and greet him this way. And then I guess they left, and then that lady, she was that mice, that mother, she was preparing, and then she said, "Ah, that's when it's one there. The time towards it, the odds and hours stuff." He said, They're gone for a while, and they're just supposed to go get wood and water. I should let me run out there, and I'll be right back." Odds and hours stuff. I guess that mice went outside, that mother mice, and left that grandfather snake sitting in there. And here that mice took off and went down and found those her children. I guess that's how they got away from that snake. Yes, there's another story that my grandfather and grandmother would tell me. I guess well they real close to historical trauma, genocide, and they the first reservation. Uh, my one of my great grandfathers, he was captured over there at Wounded Knee, and they marched him all the way back to Miles City, Fort Kill, and Hook, Wickissen Nistos. He was just a young man during that time, and they make him Cheyenne's March. And I guess his mother got killed and put in that Wounded Knee, that grave that's there, that mass grave. And Casey and General Miles, those guys. So when they got back and they had him in prison there, it's supposed to be there's land set aside over there in Miles City. It's probably still there someplace, but they had him under barbed wire fences. And here they tell a story. I guess this white guy, he come to this Indian man. Wiha, muh, muh, nito, na ni muna muna ho kamawo stane. Na wiha musto ho. No, I take it, Tomas. What are you? What are you guys afraid of? I guess the white guy talked to those Indians. They kind of real superstitious, and they believe in taboos and stuff. He said, "Well, ow, ow, when ow hits the drum, that's what we're afraid of." Rick Samstar, Mr. When they have that's what that's what why are you afraid of that sound, that drum beat of that owl? Well, it's not the owl, it's the message of death. And it's come to warn us. So here in that bit of I said, nah, then it's that of it. You know, I guess it was really got dark and middle of the night, and they heard somebody hitting drum. And so these Indians, Cheyennes, they got up, they left there. They were camped along the river, I guess, and beautiful lush grass, and they sitting there, and they were camped there. And they heard that drum, so they put their camp together and left. They moved away. And then that morning, that when that native Miles, I guess that white guy came looking around where those Cheyennes and Indians, that's where they were camped. And then he started building his log home there. And so he used that owl, he used that drum, he used that sound of that owl to chase those Cheyennes away. And so he could take that land, that real prime, lush grass, and next to that water. I don't know how come my parents, they used to tell me that story. My grandmother, Sally, I'm a Milky Way Road woman. She, well, she used to watch me. And she was real strong Mennonite, go to church and help Whitaker translate the Bible from English to Cheyenne. But she told me that there's many parallels, not just with Bible, but with other nations. We all have something in common. And I guess that's what we're supposed to move towards, what we have in common, not our differences. But to come to understand this language, this common ground. I was doing horse demonstration over there in Colorado, and this non-native lady come to me and she said, everything you're talking about the horse, about rites of passage, I wonder how can I get my husband to go through that? And I was just looking at her, and I said, yeah, I wouldn't worry about your husband. I said, but you have to look at yourself, because you attract not what you want, but what you are. And if you don't like what you see, I bet if you change your thoughts and change who you are, I bet things will change around you. I said, your husband, if he stays the same way, somewhere around second and third marriage, I think he might get it. I said, well, you're looking at me. And then she kind of said, I said, but I said, you might have to look at yourself, your thoughts and your thinking. And then she kind of said, oh, he'll be all right. And then she kind of walked away from me. And then another one walked up to me and said, your horse is talking to me. And I said, what is my horse saying? I said, he said, well, I think he needs his teeth checked. And I said, how did the horse talk to you? He said, it's kind of like telepathy, like. And I said, Whitson Stewart's in him and now, what? Whitson Stewart's in him and now, I'm sorry, I don't understand you. I said, well, if I spoke to you in the horse's language, a circular language, nature's language, would you understand me? And then she just turned around and walked away from me. And then I got done with my training. Then she came back to me and she said, I got it, Phillip. I got what you were telling me. And I said, no. I said, you're hungry. I said, you're lonely. Mm. Words, thoughts are real powerful. I said, when I was growing up, I had two languages. My first language is Cheyenne. Second is English. I think in Cheyenne, and what little English I know, I do my best with it. And here, tonight, I wanted to talk about that. When they brought me home, my mother was telling me that this James Ant, the Ovicus yellowbird, I guess they saw him coming. They tried to close the door and shut the curtains and cover me. One room house, dirt floor, covered me up. He walked in. That's my dad's uncle. Okay. Now, when I ask my dad, so where's your newborn? So, I want to hold him. Boy, they sat there for a long time, I guess, and finally I must have started moving around underneath those blankets, and they didn't want to answer him. Oh, finally, my mother went over and got me and put me in that man's arms, and he walked outside and prayed with me. Mm. I guess they say that when you're named after somebody, you portray that person. And that James Santon, he was a culture where he kept our culture alive. And when people they go through loss of a loved one, they go and feed them and encourage them. And there's certain language that they use. Hinhawadanas, Hinhawadan, have a strong heart. They talk to them. And then I guess he'd be standing on top of that. There's a hill there in the center. I think they built a church there, Mormon church. I think it's another something else now. But I guess he used to stand there. He'd be announcing. He'd be telling people, giving them updates and what's going to happen. He had no sound system. I guess he'd be telling people that we're going to have a callback ceremony and we're going to bring people out in mourning. And we're going to have round dance. We're going to encourage people. And we're going to have hand game. No, son. So he'd be talking like that. And he'd go around and he'd go to Forsyth and Hardin and Sherton and he solicit money. Over there in Forsyth, a big sign on the door. No dogs or Indians allowed. And same way over there in Hardin and Sherton. But he go over there and solicit, I guess, come back home and buy stuff and then he take it to the people. Once I was having a hard time, difficult time. And so it gave me his name. And that's what my parents, they didn't want me to take on that responsibility and role. I guess it's really hard, difficult. Just like right now, I'm having a hard time. And then too, you gotta have thick skin too. Boy, your own relatives, some of your own loved ones, they don't understand, or maybe you don't understand. But that name, that Indian name, Cheyenne name, it's real important. It connects you to the stars, astrology, just like my grandmother, Sally, Milky Way Road woman, Amia, that beautiful Milky Way. That's the one that we cross over from this time to that time. And that's where our relatives that went to the other side, they come back and greet us. And but in the meantime, your Indian name connects you to astrology, and there's a whole purpose and reason for that. When the one that's giving you a name, they well, there's different levels of it too. Someone they have to have, they use words that only certain people can use to activate and call those spirits from the different directions, different levels, that language. So this way, when that person that's given a name like myself, when I go outside and I humble myself, and I used to pray, pray for everybody, but now I share. Creator already knows your thoughts. Creator already knows you. But I just give gratitude. I ask the Creator to wake people up, not through pain, not through death, not through hardship, but when they get up in the morning, they wake up light, joy, and happiness, forgiveness, mercy, compassion, empathy, like that way. And then that they'll awake that every breath and every moment is it's a miracle. So names are real important, and they give you guidance, direction, acknowledgement, and Creator has something to do with that. And then when I was must have been about that age, they had another ceremony. They pierced my left ear, and I guess we got aura around us. There's an aura. You can't see it, and you can't just break it. That's how come you don't holler at kids, and you don't punish them, and you don't condemn them, you don't call them names. Instead, I guess when they look at you, I guess that's the Creator looking at you, those children, and the Creator looking back at you. But they have aura. So they prayed over me. My dad took a bullet, took that top part and flattened it, sharpened it, and they prayed over me. They put that, they pierced my ear. And that just didn't take one time. I had to wear that pain for a while. Every morning I put ointment on there and squeeze it. And then finally it went through. And I had to leave it like that. And then finally I put earring on. It never did close up, it's still there. And I guess reason for that too is boys. They well, because they're like turtles. They take their umbilical cord, they put them inside the turtle, and I guess if you put buffalo hair in there, I guess it makes them double mean. But if you put horse hair in there, or sweetgrass, or sage, I guess that umbilical cord, whatever you put inside that turtle, I guess it does something to you too. It means something. And everybody has gifts, purposes, and I guess that well, in the sweat lodge too, when baby's born, they bring them in there and take them on around. They greet them to this third world. I guess there's a second world that we come from, and there's another one before that. So when was done was That's what that means is those ones that are coming and they're born. They're bellicose. I guess boys, the father, they go and spank the male dog, kind of advertise that the male is born. I guess dogs, they can see stuff and hear stuff that we can't. They only live about 13 years too. And I guess boys, they're supposed to be like that. Well, I guess science is catching up with us. I guess if you put sugar in a cup of coffee, we can taste it. Well, a dog, I guess if you get three Olympic-sized pools, put them together, and put teaspoon of sugar in there, I guess that dog is so sensitive it tastes that sugar and that those three Olympic-sized pools, and then they have hearing too, and then they can smell too, and they got 10,000 times more sensitive than human. And I guess boys, they come from that dimension. It's a 13 dimensional, I guess. And then we're crossing over to human. And that's how come we have ceremonies. We got songs. And they pray over you, give you Indian name. Because now you're starting to become human. And uh, they give you ear piercing, turtle, and Indian name, and then girls, I guess they don't beat the dog up or anything like that. But instead, when that girl becomes of age, their first moon, they give father go gives horse away and kind of acknowledge like that way that womanhood. And, and them girls, they got lizard. And they're quick. It come from like a 32 dimension like that. They're 3 days in advance. They already know everything. And I guess that's where horses come from. Horses, they're like that. They already know what you know. They also know what you don't know. And then there's one in between there. It's 24. And I guess those are our plants. And us guys, I guess that's what we are. We're supposed to be a plant-based culture. Those are medicines to help us remind us that we're human and we're Mother Earth, that we're spirits having human experience, and that we're all connected. And horses, they got 15 feet radius. Anytime you come in that circle, they can feel you. And then too, this COVID, everybody has to stay 4 to 6 feet away from each other. But humans, that's what it is. It's a 4 to 6. And then dogs too, they got one. They got circle. There's an aura around them. And then those horses, they already know what you know. And then so we got the Indian name, we got your bellocal cord, and then you got your welcome in your spirit to this third world, sweat launch, the circle, and then well, and then we start our human experience. We start coming from those real high frequencies, and then we uh, introduce to ceremony, remind us that we're special, we're co-creator. And that's like a 4 to 5 dimensional, 4 sacred directions, sky, middle, underneath the ground, that we're connected to all of it. I guess we're supposed to forget. And, and then there's a two in this non-dimensional, zero. And that's where contracted awareness, IQ. I guess that's where you're intelligent. That's when you're I guess that's where you know everything. I guess like a teenager, and I know everything. And then there's that 4 to 5. It's a it's a expanded. It's a it's a expanded awareness. And then your higher set, the 13. It's a pure expanded awareness. And uh, so that's why all of that matters. And there's a trail that leads from the west to the east. And I guess those ones that the real high technology and real smart, intelligent, high IQ. I guess they know everything. They'll wait in the front over there. But that trail's going to turn someday. And uh, now that trail's going to turn back towards the west. Those that hung on to those ways while we're all connected, you know who you are, you know your language, you connected to humility, vulnerability, empathy, mercy, compassion, all of that stuff there. It's a karma. It's like an energy. Yeah, well, you got to be careful what you think. You gotta be careful what you say. You gotta be careful what you put out to the universe. And so once someday, I guess those are going to be the leaders and teachers of tomorrow. And they always say that women, they're the foundation of a nation. And I guess there's no greater love I guess a mother has for a child. We all make mistakes. Some of us, we don't learn from them, but some do. Some they do learn from mistakes. Once you learn, you don't do it again. But then there's some of us that will have to make it maybe 2, 3 times or maybe more. But once you know better, you do better. And then so all of that, it's an energy, it's a spirit. It's having a human experience. And a lot of the condemning, how would I say it? A lot of it's contaminated now, where a lot of our circles aren't pure anymore. So you have to really be aware of that. And then that mindset, that linear mindset, it's a really powerful, that language. It's English language. It's got conjunctions and vowels. And in my language, ours is, we're not a culture of words. Ours is real simple. And one word can mean a lot. It's a whole different mindset. And I guess that when we become human and we start disconnecting, we'll forget the directions, the levels, and then even in our aura, our chakras, our energy points, we forget about that, and then we become real narrow-minded. We get one-sided. I guess that, the need to be right, the need to be right becomes real strong, I guess. But once you understand that there's lines, there's energy, aura, chakras, and all of that. Horses, they got it. That's how come I really like to work with horses, especially at night. They're just like they're coming awake. They really become, horses, they're beautiful. They're sacred. And they can make you think that you're a horse trainer. They're like a mirror. but they're just horses. But if you elevate to their level, instead of pulling them down to your level, and dumb down process, I used to call it. That's when I used to break and train horses and kind of eminent domain, dominion, overpower them. And I must have ruled a lot of horses. And, but today, instead of me leading them, I follow them. And that's how I can become a leader to them. And they mirror you. They already know before you even know. If you want to know, what they're thinking, you have to really become aware of your own thinking. Because they're already there waiting for you. When you finally come to and become more aware of your own thought process, you're going to find them there. They're waiting for you there. And that's how far advanced they are. And that's why it's important to understand those different ways, different levels. English ain't going to get you there, but maybe love, mercy, compassion, empathy, bewilderment, letting go of control, no expectation, all of those human feelings. Just like me when I first went to school, boy, I didn't want to leave my mother. I didn't want to leave my dad. I didn't want to leave my grandparents. And I had to go to a school. And it's like they said I was a slow learner and I couldn't read or write. But one thing I learned was shame. And when I come back home from school, I felt really bad, not good enough. Everything that the opposite of what I grew up with. I grew up with horses. I grew up, my mother, my dad, their songs, their stories, their encouragement, their love, their compassion, their understanding. Whole different language, whole different culture, whole different way of life. And now today, where we're at, it's good to be human. It's good to be smart. It's good to know everything. But I think that in the future, if we're going to stand a chance, it's not the survival of the fittest. It's going to be the survival of the wisest. Or language, Mother Earth. It doesn't, you don't have to be male or female. You don't have to be native to get there. You just got to undo everything that you've been taught. You've got to let go of who you think you are so you can become who you were meant to be. I just want to thank everybody for listening tonight. And maybe I didn't say enough, or maybe I said too much. But this is just basic information that everybody's supposed to know. You're supposed to know it. And I'm just reminding you. And thank you for listening, because it reminds me that I still have long ways to go yet. And right now, we all need to realize that we're all connected. You know, they always talk about Jim Crow, and they always talk about Papable or Indian people or people of color. How come there always has to be something? And I think once we change our thoughts, our world's going to change around. And I think we need to continue to prepare ourselves, because there's a day coming when the Indian movement Johnny Cash made a song. It's called Drums. Talked about how he can hear those drums over the hill and they're getting near. Well, because of Mother Earth and where we're headed with global warming and all the dysfunction and the fighting and all of the projections, all that disconnection, I think we need to continue to prepare our children, our grandchildren. Hey, wait a minute. I think we're all connected. I love each and every one of you, and there's nothing you guys can do about it. It took me a long time to understand that. Haho, niyashimano. I'll turn it back over to Lynette.
Thank you, Philip, for sharing that. And he just touched, on a lot of really good topics. And there's so much more to each one of these things, just like name giving. There's so much more. And in our future programs, we're going to be diving into that a little bit more, just like when you're born, welcoming the spirit of our babies, and name giving, and rites of passage, and all of these important milestones in a child's life, or in our life, in that circle of life, all the stages of life that we go through, and all of the ceremonies and traditions that we have that remind us that we're spirit, that reconnects us back to that place. And when we're born, we're born sacred, and we're born totally connected to everything. We're not born into sin. We're sacred. We're born with all of the knowing and connection to all of the universe. But as we go through that circle of life, we disconnect from that. And so these ceremonies and these ways are to reconnect us back to that, to remind us of that, and to have something to follow. And so, our ways are really important. So all the people out there, there's so many people that are reclaiming, we're reclaiming ourselves. And we need to do that, because that is who we are. This is who we are. We've growing up, maybe in my generation, it's like we're always taught to be somebody else. You gotta fit into this society to be successful. But today, I'm really proud of the young people, because they're standing up and they're reclaiming themselves, and they're saying no, and we have to cherish the elders that we have. This past year, we lost so many elders because they have a lot of this knowledge. And the elders that are with us, we need to cherish them and value them. And, so I encourage that with all of you, cherish your elders and learn as much as you can from them, because they carry such wisdom and knowledge. So, I'm real appreciative for Philip touching on all of those topics tonight, and appreciative of all of you for joining us tonight. And I want to encourage you to keep coming back. In a couple of weeks, we're going to have a couple of different specials. One is we're going to be talking about Uchaglatas, women singers, and the importance of that. And I have some special guests that will be on, and they're going to be singing, and we're going to be, it's really important. So, tune in for that. Keep coming back. That is coming up. So I'm setting the dates now for those. The other thing that we have coming up is we're going to have a special, and it's actually going to be, and I encourage everybody, if you haven't liked our Medicine Wheel Model page, I encourage you to do that Medicine Will Model Facebook page. And, that's all of our work with this model that we created. And we've shared this model throughout the country and all throughout Canada. And we've have a lot of practitioners that also share this model. So I encourage you to go like that page because we're going to be streaming a couple of programs on there in the next couple of weeks. So we're going to dual. I'm not sure what the correct word is, but it'll be coming from both our Medicine Well model page and Yellowbird page, so you could watch it from either place. But I encourage you to go like that. I'll put that in the comments, Medicine Will model. So if you haven't done that, but thank you for joining us. We send love to everybody out there, and we're just tonight. I think we just have a lot of gratitude and a lot of appreciation, for all of the blessings. And yeah, hold your loved ones close, and let's really take care of each other. So good night, and we'll see you guys all back next week again.